President Trump, perhaps unsurprisingly, made an extremely stupid comment at his Indiana rally. Let's watch.
And they want to raid Medicare to pay for socialism. Somehow I don't see Indiana being the next Venezuela. I just don't see it. Right?
Yeah. You know, I get a lot of shit when I mock the far right when they bring up Venezuela every 8 seconds. But I mock them for that because it is the most mockable thing I've ever heard. When we talk about what the populist left in this country wants, the insurgent left in this country wants, it's relatively clear that we're talking about social democracy in the Scandinavian mold, but all they do is bring up Venezuela. Why? Because they have no argument. And when you have no argument, you strawman your opponent. So it's easy to say, yeah, Venezuela, Cuba, former Soviet Union. Because then you don't need to actually think, you don't need to actually listen to what your opponent is saying and then logically break it down. Because if you try to do that, you'd realize very quickly that we're correct and what we're calling for would actually help many people and it would improve our system. But Donald Trump somehow is even more incoherent and even dumber than your average far right-wing clown who brings up Venezuela to mock it. He just said they want to raid Medicare to pay for socialism. That is exactly like the people who used to show up to the Tea Party rallies that held up the sign that said, "Keep your government hands off my Medicare." See, they don't know what these things are, these concepts are. They're just, it's a Pavlovian response where there's endless demonization from the people that they listen to, whether it's Rush Limbaugh, whether it's Fox News, whether it's right-wing YouTubers. It's just a Pavlovian response where they never define the terms and they never really think about it. They just know, hey, what am I for and what am I against? Okay, I'm for free market capitalism, laissez-faire, unfettered free market capitalism. What exactly is that? I don't know. I don't really care. Free market's always good. It has free in it. The word free is in it. So that's got to be good. Freedom. That's got to be good. What am I against? Socialism, communism. Oh, you want me to define those things? But Rush Limbaugh's never defined it for me. He just tells me I'm supposed to be against it. Fox News, I never ever really define it. They just tell me I'm supposed to be against it. And they tell me I'm supposed to bring up Venezuela because Venezuela is bad, and I'm supposed to say the Democrats want us to be Venezuela. So if you don't think about these things, if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, you're going to look like a fool. And that's what's happening. And by the way, if you noticed, it's not like people in the room caught on to the just oozing, rank, disgusting stupidity coming out of Trump there. It's not like they caught on to it and they were like, people are looking around like, did he just say what I think he said? They went right along for the ride. Because it doesn't have to make sense. Who am I for? Who am I against? Oh, I'm for Donald Trump. I'm for the Republicans. I'm for capitalism. What am I against? I'm against Venezuela. I'm against socialism. So, when you throw in an inconvenient thing out there like Medicare, I will just take that word and fit it into my mental paradigm. And I'm not going to allow it to contradict my belief system, even if it does contradict my belief system. Because to that, they're just playing a game. They're just playing an authoritarian game. You tell me what I'm for, you tell me what I'm against, and I'll play along. I'll go right along with you. I won't think. I won't stop and logically break it down. I won't define terms. I'll just go right along for the ride with you. But the thing that's so funny is, it's like they're so smug as they're being wrong that it's just so cringeworthy, Like, it's one thing to be wrong, but be humble about it. It's another thing to be wrong and comically wrong, but you're, like, smug about it. As if, like, you're nailing it. And that's Trump. And this is what I mean. Trump is all bombast. Rand Paul said that Donald Trump is the truth teller without the truth. And that's what he is. I mean, he talks as if, yeah, I'm just a guy who's keeping it real. I'm going to tell you what's happening in this country. Believe me, let me just tell you. But the way he talks, it's almost like a mask for the lack of substance and knowing shit. You know, and honestly, none of us should be surprised by this because Donald Trump is the guy who said, for example, and there are countless other examples similar to this that are just equally as stupid. He brought up clean coal, and he was like, you take the coal out, you clean it. So he thinks clean coal is literally cleaning coal. This is the kind of guy that we're talking about here. So it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody that he said that Democrats want to raid Medicare to pay for socialism. And by the way, let's be clear, which party is pushing for Medicare cuts? It would be the Republicans. It's not the Democrats. There are some corporate Democrats who were fine with it, and in fact, Obama even proposed it back when he was president. But the Republicans said, no, we want more Medicare cuts. And there wasn't a deal because of the obstinance of the far-right Republicans. But today, in the political climate, which party is more in favor of Medicare cuts? It's the Republicans. So it's all... He's lying about the topic, even if you grant him his initial statement and look over the fact that it's totally incoherent. They want to raid your Medicare to pay for socialism. Listen, I don't know how anybody can, be a staunch Trump defender and supporter at this point. Because we're really at the point where he's shown his true colors, you know? Like I said, from early on, man, there was a time when he was acting more economically populist, and half the time he was acting more non-interventionist on foreign policy. That's how he campaigned. But he's been president for over a year, and all of his policies are in the opposite direction. They're not populist, they're elitist. All of his economic policies are elitist. His foreign policy, massively militaristic and hawkish, and right along with the neocons. So now we know that, so I don't know how anybody can support him, unless you're a dumbass, or you support him for the bigoted social issues reasons. In which case, okay, I see then why you would support him. If you're a dumbass, I see why you support him. You like people who incoherently say shit like, the Democrats want to raid your Medicare to pay for socialism. They don't know anything at all about politics, but they are they're at the top echelon of our society when it comes to politics. That should frighten you.